This video is made possible by
When I was growing up, my grandfather was somebody I worshipped in my life. I thought he was the coolest guy in the world. And he had been an immigrant from Italy long before I was born during the Great Depression. Worked odd jobs, did whatever he could to feed his family and take care of himself. Eventually had to go fight in World War II, fighting against his homeland. Got out, had a nice cushy government job, and decided he was bored doing that. Left the job, took all of his life savings and all my grandmother's life savings and started a construction business, and went back to turmoil and living, paycheck to paycheck and barely being able to feed his family. And after many years, had built up a very successful construction business. But when I was a young kid, probably about 10 years old, my grandfather took me to New York and took me out to the balcony of the New York Stock Exchange. And I remember being awed by the building. It's an incredible building if you've never been there. He put his arm around me and said, Michael, I think one day you're going to have a company on the New York Stock Exchange. You're going to start a company and it'll be on the New York Stock Exchange. And I remember thinking about that at 10 years old and thinking, that's a good idea. Maybe I'm not going to be a rock star. Maybe I'm not going to be a professional football player, which is what I thought I was going to be at the time. Maybe I'm going to start a company and take it public on the New York Stock Exchange one day. But many years later, just a few years back, I helped start a company called Millennial Media. And I was on a train going up to New York to take the company public on the New York Stock Exchange. And that story hit me, and it kind of floored me, remembering that when I was 10 years old, my grandfather had said this to me. And so when we walked out on the floor and rang the bell, it was just this great moment in my life that I'd fulfilled what my grandfather had prophesized many years before. Very quickly, I realized this is what I'm built to do. And my grandfather knew it when I was 10 years old, and I can't help myself. So after a little bit of time off, I started ICX Media, and whenever ICX Media is successful, I'll probably take a few months off and go do it again, because that's what I'm built to do.
For more inspirational stories, check out pivotalplays.com.